All right. I said I was going live from the ParaConnection, Faribault, Minnesota. We have quite a few tables here. We had a real nice show, and it's awesome. And I'm just kind of kicking off, just showing you what's going on at the ParaConnection here. But the main reason I'm going live is because Search4Spirits is going to be going live here as we speak. Matter of fact, I'm waiting for my lead investigator, Mark, to get back on the ground here. But yeah, we have a lot of cool things here at the Paranormal. Supernatural, cryptid. I mean, we've got all kinds of topics. This is our table. My wife is selling paintings. People are buying t-shirts and hats like nobody's business. Yeah, so there's the crew at the table. Melissa, everybody. Oh, it's such a pretty group. But we're going to walk back towards the room, and then you'll be able to hear us get to business. So I hope Mark shows up. I told him, I said, you better hurry up and get back. So we're just going to head back to the classroom where we're going to be doing our spiel here any second. Here's Knops back here in the far corner. Oh yeah, Pat, he's like, they got all kinds of cool stuff on their table. I don't even know what that thing is. Oh, that's neat. Different paranormal contraptions, videos, stuff running. But yeah, that's it. Melissa's following me because she's going to take the camera here in a second. Mark just got here, just rolled in. Well, by golly, we pass that on to you here. And we're getting very close to 3:30. I tell you, the room is getting packed.
Do I need to show it?
No, please don't. Half or more of those are gone.
Might be hanging, and there's no.
Oh, okay.
Like they clean up over half.
So last night we were on the investigation at the Walcott farm colony, I guess you would call it. And we had about 35 people out there, I would say, grand total. That's with people leading the event and whatnot. Probably more than that, probably close to 40. And we investigated at the farm colony, rural Faribault, south of Faribault, and it's an interesting location. I think we had a lot of interesting, different little personal experiences. You can get both of us, no problem.
As long as you stay where you're at.
And it's beautiful out there right now.
Oh,
So gorgeous. The sun is out.
the sun is out, and it's nice. It's breezy, but it's pretty nice out overall, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
It's great. Yeah, I went like this in the house.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Mark, Russ, Search4Spirits. A lot of people have seen us live before on our live show, Facebook show, which is going to kick off. And we're planning the third week of November. We're going to kick off the weekly live show, and we're pretty excited about that because we've been investigating nonstop,
Oh, yeah.
and we have tons of things to talk about, and the live show is going to be certainly filled with experiences.
And that's why we haven't done it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going to start in September.
yeah, we were, but it's been nuts. Yeah, I mean. Last weekend we had the Bigfoot weekend. This weekend we have the expo here in Faribault. And the weekend before we were out in Sauk Center doing a big event out there. It's been nonstop. Not to mention the tours coming up at the fair. We got the 18th next week, right?
Yep.
And then 25, 26, 27?
I think so.
3 nights in a row the following week. So
Yeah, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
if you want a tour at an awesome haunted location, come to the fair
They're decorating for
They're
Halloween.
gonna be all decorated up, probably some costumes.
And you gotta eat there.
And the food is awesome. Yep.
We also-
Question. Oh, I thought you were waving at me.
No, I know. Go ahead.
You're
Yeah, I know.
stretching your arm.
No, I want to get to the fair.
Excellent.
I
Don't
wanted
miss
to
it.
go there. I've been to like 20 states paranormal.
Okay.
But have you investigated there yet?
Well,
Several
Yes.
times.
Okay, so the fair, I'm a huge kitty cat lover, and I was told that there are ghost cats running around in that place.
Yes.
There-
Have you captured any ghost cat?
Absolutely.
But not on film.
Not on film.
Heard them on
But we
EVPs.
experienced them, yes.
Yep. We've seen their indentations on beds. We've heard them jump off of the bed and hit the floor. You know, like when you hear a critter, like a cat hit the floor.
What's the cat's name?
We heard the cat snarled at me one time.
Do we know what those?
I don't even know if I remember. Probably some of the cats were from the
former
owner, the
yeah.
former owner, and so I don't know if we know the names.
Yeah.
It probably was something we could figure out.
We
but
gotta ask, yeah.
Because I'm looking at, like Palmer House, there's supposed to be cats running around.
and dogs at the Palmer House. The last time I was there, they were talking about dog. Or
Yep,
dog
well, the
or dogs.
owner was, the original owner, the Palmers, were big, hunting dog.
Oh, that's what it was.
And in the winter time, when it got cold, they let the dog stay in the, I don't know what he had.
Basement.
Like,
The Hounds of Baskerville.
they were allowed to be in the basement during the winter months.
Excellent. So yeah, and there's not that many of these small hotels around anymore. So, and they're closing one by one. Pipestone, I think the doors are closed, at least for now.
Caligan.
The Calumet, and maybe they're reopened, I don't know for sure. But another super awesome small to mid-sized hotel that offers just an intriguing historical experience. But yeah, so that's kind of neat. And Annandale, Friday night.
Yes, oh, yeah,
Not this week, but the next week.
right.
Friday night is going to be the second annual live radio show, Paranormal Investigation, at a surprise destination in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And that's going to go live on the Kelly and Wood Show at 9 p.m. on that Friday night, the 28th, I believe it is.
This will be a fun one.
Right? Whatever that Friday is.
It's the 28th.
28th, yep. So, and that's going to be a blast. Last time we did that, we had hundreds of people watching the Kelly and Wood Facebook page.
It was up to 1,000 before the end of the night.
Oh, it was nuts.
Yeah, it was busy.
And so that's going to be a blast just to watch. And they are good with their presentation and their comedic activities, they're messing
They
around.
showed up as Ghostbusters last year.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. And then right after that, we go into 2 days of the Para-Unity Convention in Egan. So busy, busy, busy. Oh my gosh. But we have a presentation. Our presentation includes a lot of things. Because we are in a radio show, we kick things back and forth a little bit. But we're going to talk today about a couple things. I think we're going to talk about items disappearing and appearing. Things at people's homes, things we've experienced where all of a sudden the family's there. I haven't seen my tools yet, my screwdriver, in 2 or 3 weeks. And we're at the investigation. We cross some spirits over, and all of a sudden the screwdriver is laying in the middle of the living room floor on the carpet. And the owner, he's walking, we just get done with the clearing, he's walking across there, what the heck? What's that? He said, I lost this 2 weeks ago. And his wife's like, no way you just found that on that floor. I just vacuumed that darn floor like yesterday.
And we were all over that place too.
And we had been walking all over that house during the investigation. But that's pretty common, so to speak. Not overly common,
Run into it.
but we run into it and have run into it several times where an object suddenly appears. As a matter of fact, it just happened I'm going to tell this quick one, and then I'll have you tell the longer one.
Okay.
Since we already talked about the Thayer, we'll tell a Thayer story. But I was on the phone with a guy last week, and he's like, oh, I just feel like something ain't right. And so I did a remote crossing, facilitated a remote crossover opportunity for the spirits in his home over the phone. And spirits and stuff, a lot of electronics, they had no trouble interpreting me and anybody through the phones or any other electrical equipment. But he gets up and he's walking around his house after that's done, and he found, it was a set of keys or something he had been missing for like a week and a half. And suddenly they were just, same thing, they were just laying, like disappeared in the middle of the room on the floor. And it's like the spirit's just standing right here, and it's like,
Russ, I'm being told that you need to talk louder for the lady in the back.
I need to talk louder for the lady. Who is the lady in the back? Pat?
Yeah.
How much louder can I scream?
Well, it was Amanda that said it.
Oh, maybe we'll get a little closer to the. Let me get closer to me. Me and Mark gotta stand closer together.
I think you just make it
Oh, that's funny.
I'm sorry. You told me to
Anyway.
tell you what the people are saying.
Yeah, feel free. We are live. That gives the audience an opportunity to ask any questions, make any comments, as well as people that are listening can ask and make comments as well. We're absolutely fine with that. We understand that's how it works. A little of this, a little back and forth. But so anyway, that's two little experiences I had. But Mark is going to tell one about the Thayer, since we brought it up. That's a much bigger story.
Right, so the first time we were at the Thayer, Melissa was with us, just the three of us, right?
Yes.
Probably, yep.
Okay, so we're setting up. I threw my backpack and my gear in my room. I locked it. Then we started setting cameras up. I was down in the foyer. Russ was upstairs, and so you were up setting up a camera.
I was on the third floor.
Yep. And all of a sudden, this piece of jewelry showed up at his feet.
I moved my foot over an inch while I was setting the cameras up. I'm like, whoa, what do we got here? And here's this big like necklace thing. I didn't pay attention to it real close.
Yeah, so it was a rosary that I had
Was?
been given as a gift. Yeah. And so he gave it to Melissa. Melissa went downstairs, and she's like, "Somebody lost this." I'm like, "That's mine." But it's in my room. It's supposed to be in my room. Zipped into an inside pocket. Zipped into the big part of my backpack behind a locked door. So we all go up to the
Yeah,
room.
and we're like marching because nobody can believe the fact that that thing had moved.
Yeah.
So we're like, all a group of about 6 or 7 people marching all the way up to the second floor.
Yeah, so I unlocked the door, I opened up the bag, and it's gone. So that thing transported from the second floor all the way to the back, room 307,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
No, 207.
207
All the way up to the third floor on the other side.
on the other side of the building.
Yeah, so.
Amazing. And right, I mean, obviously trying to send a message because the darn thing was, I mean, they set it right under my foot. You know, and they're sending a message saying, we're here. Were they sending a Christian message too, saying, hey, we're Christians?
Don't screw with us.
Why choose that? And, you know.
Amanda just said, share about a Crosby mine site experience.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had some experiences in the Crosby mine experience. Well, my favorite is the EVP we got that comes out of the hole
Oh, yeah, the mine pit?
of the mine pit. And that was,
Where's this place at?
that's in Crosby. There's an old mine up in that area, and it's
Yes.
where they used to have the camp.
So if you go north of Crosby a little bit,
In Crosby, Minnesota.
correct, yeah. And it's just up north, just a little bit to the left. You'll see the signs. But it's a park now. Oh, yeah. There was a mine accident there. And they were digging too close to the lake, and it flooded and killed 40 some odd miners.
It was quite a
coal
bunch of
mine?
them.
It was, do you
I
remember?
believe it was a coal mine. I think so.
But it was a mine, And I think it was an iron or something like that.
Just Google Crosby Mine Site, and it's there.
Disaster
It's
damage.
a state forest kind of.
It's a
basically.
park.
It's open to the public.
Yeah, it's a big park. But the big thing is I think one of the eeriest EVPs I think I ever got came out of the hole of that mine. Well, because it closed off, you know, you can't fall in it. But it's still kind of a dugout there. And we were walking around doing business, and all of a sudden you hear a spirit call from the hole. Hello, come find me. Yikes, that was frightening to listen to later. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't hear that when I was there.
Well, I think it was a 300-foot pit too, 300 feet deep.
Yeah.
It's a big pit.
Yeah. And so that, yeah, you know, and but I say all these places, make sure you get permission and you're careful and safety, and because it's just, you know, it could be dangerous too. There's a lot of rocks and stuff on there. But anyway, so yeah, so that was kind of, and I know there was several experiences that would probably she might be referring to, but that's the one that
I was going to
the
say.
minute I think about it.
Give us a hint if she wants.
If she wants more. But anyway, so we're kind of talking about the molecular disposition, the breakdown and the put back together of items. We had the case, that was in St. Cloud,
It
where
was in St. Cloud, yeah.
3 knives had disappeared from this family's knife. You know, they got the nice knife block, it's cute. And 3 knives disappear out of that thing, and they are gone for
A year at least.
a year at the minimum, like a year and a half.
I think so.
And the night that we go there, actually it was the second night,
Yep.
because we went there and it was just quiet. It was like ghost town, that's kind of weird to say. But it was quiet, ghost town quiet. And so then we go there a second night though, because she's like, something ain't right now. Because, there was a phone.
Yeah, an old phone in the basement was ringing, but not plugged in.
Hadn't been plugged in years. It was
Yeah.
sitting on a shelf.
Somebody like that voice out of the mine was saying, "Hey, come down here." Yeah, it was like trying to entice them down into the basement.
Yeah.
So we went back.
Yeah. So she's like, can you come back? So we went back, and without telling the whole story, the knives that had been gone for a year and a half appeared on scene that night.
Every single one of them.
All 3 of them. And nobody had seen them, and yeah. And
Was
so
it after you released the spirit that sent them to
that was while they were still
We're in the
there.
process, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird because it's usually in that process. It's like
Yep.
that's
So
like they're last goodbye. Like, oh, by the way, here's your knife I took.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
No, this
So-
was like all the way through. I got
Yeah.
this from the beginning. It was crazy.
Yeah.
One knife appeared, and then another one, and then
One actually went through a window and broke it. And one ended up,
in the yard.
one was in the yard, somebody saw it in the yard, they saw it flying in the yard, and the other one appeared on a step. And the story goes a lot deeper than that, and
It does.
it would totally eat up the next hour and a half we told the whole story. But anyway, we're just talking about the idea of
Things disappearing and reappearing.
they have no problem in some cases, and it ain't every spirit that can do it. You know, it ain't every energy that out there that can do it. Certain ones have a tendency to have that specialty. And just like we're humans here, we all kind of, we have different things that we're smarter at or whatever, that we're more talented at. The ghosts are spirits, the deceased souls, whatever term you want to use for them, the deceased souls is the one I use a lot. They have different talents, just like you and I have. And some of them have that talent of where they can break down a physical product from Earth and make it reappear later.
So we just had it happen we got back from the Bigfoot hunt.
Yeah,
And we emptied that bag, and there was that big crooked nail in there.
yeah.
So we have stuff show up in our bags all the time. Do you guys have that too?
I haven't had.
Just weird things like nails or
Just Pat's cords and stuff.
just your equipment, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
We will get
nails.
estranged items will show up in the bag.
Even bottles.
Yeah, we got a bottle once. Just this last weekend, as I was cleaning up the bag, there was an old rusty nail with a little 90-degree bend on
We
it.
jumped it and it like fell off.
And there's this old nail, I'm like,
Yeah.
where did that nail come from? But it had to have come from that trip, because I mean, I emptied the bags out every time.
Yeah.
I think, my favorite that I just remembered was up in the mining country. That was up in mining country too. What town was that? Not Hibbing, it was one of the a little bit smaller one.
Buell?
No.
Nizwa?
Farther north.
Baudette?
Oh, but anyway, we went up there.
Was it by Duluth?
No, it wasn't that far up. It was on that stretch.
Virginia.
The one where we found, anyway, it's probably not important.
Okay.
The
next half hour. we'll-
The details have gotten real foggy. But anyway, somebody wants to get in?
Yeah, somebody wants in.
All right, you can go in.
No, it's not the kid, it's one of ours.
So we're up there, we do this investigation, and it's the investigation of the slamming doors. There's been all kinds of doors slamming at this house, and it's freaked people out. And they're like, I need somebody to come up here because I don't know what's upstairs. But nobody goes upstairs to it was a house in town, but they called it a cabin.
Bemidji.
No, it wasn't Bemidji, that was not Cohasset. Why can't I remember?
Coleraine.
Cold Rain, maybe.
No.
We just keep calling out names all afternoon.
Anyways.
Anyway, this lady won't go upstairs. She's absolute. So me and Mark, we'll make big way. We'll be upstairs. And we go upstairs and we get up there and we spend the whole night up there. We're like, well, we haven't run into too much yet. We're spending the night. So he gets into one bed and I get in the other bed.
And then the spirits are pushing on my mattress.
Yeah, they're messing with him.
It's good. Yeah, so it's like.
But
And,
it sounded like we were getting the sound of like the wallpaper getting ripped
Yeah, it was kind of
off of the walls.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing we had really been hearing. And what is that? Why does it keep sounding like the walls are falling in? But anyway, so then we're there and we investigate and we get to the point where, let's just go down for the night. At least rest and be quiet here. And we hear a commotion downstairs and the lady
It was like running from the kitchen, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't sure.
So we're like, what's going on downstairs? And she would not come upstairs because she was so frightened of the upstairs. She said, I'm going to sleep on the chair downstairs here. And all of a sudden, she comes running upstairs. I ain't sleeping on there. Gotta sleep over by you. I suppose, over there. And she tells us, she said, something came over and that sleep paralysis thing. She's lying there wide awake. At least she thought she was.
It ran from the kitchen and jumped on her.
Jumped on her.
Pinned her in that chair.
And pinned her in a chair. And she's just horrified because she's never had an experience in the downstairs. Well, because me and Mark were trompsing all over the upstairs, we done chased whatever it was downstairs. And so we're up there and it's all nice and peaceful. And she's downstairs on the main floor getting attacked. We're like, whoa, we can't have that go on. And but long story short, we got up in the morning. I got up early. We listened to audio. We had weird stuff on, some weird sounds and stuff going on during the night. But we did facilitated a crossing and different things. But something happened at that particular case that I'll never forget. And I wish we could have followed up, and I tried. But this lady left town and blah blah blah. But it was their cabin. So, and this is up in the mining country, and she says, the next day she calls me up, she says, hey, did you guys leave something in the cupboard? I said, no, why would I leave something in your cupboard? She says, well, my dad got to the cabin today, and he said he went to the cupboard and opened the door, and he says there's this old bottle in there. And it's a really old, dirty old bottle, and it said holy water on it. And he said, inside the old bottle was a $10 bill, and it was all greasy and dirty like an old miner's dollar. And it was rolled up and it was shoved in there. And she says, what do you make of that? I said, you better get up to the church and get some holy water and return it. Put the $10 in your pocket. Can't you read it? It makes perfect sense to me. But the spirits had placed that old glass bottle with $10 and then set it inside of their cupboard as if asking for more, as if asking for holy water. And we've had that with salt before, where one asked for salt, and then they asked for a specific salt, and I went and got that salt, and I put it in there, and they just set it on the cupboard. I'm like, okay, well, I hope they're happy now. Certain type of salt, they just wanted that in their presence. And so, in my mind, there's a lot of spirits that will do healing type things, protection type things, even if they haven't crossed over. Some, there's a lot of good spirits out there, and there's bad. Dark hubs, light hubs, like we talked about, so there's such a variety of deceased souls that they're involved in so many different things and so many different types of ways that they, we always assume it's just, well, it's just Grandma Smith, she's still here, But it's, a lot of times, honestly, about 85 to 90% of the cases, it's very, very rarely a relative. Hardly ever. Just rarely.
Yeah, it's very
Small percentage. And so that's another example of being able to, take the molecular makeup of a physical product and mess with it and change it, break it down, build it back up, make it reappear.
Yeah.
And
It's a neat trick.
it's a very neat trick. I won't call it magic because I don't like magic, but it's a very neat trick. So who has a question?
Door.
Sorry, at the door?
Yep.
I suppose they're watching online and think it's so cool. I better run in there and see what's going on. So, have you guys run into that anywhere before? Any of that type of stuff?
I must have locked them up. Not really.
Not really too much?
I run into, and I don't know if it's paranormal or if it's lack of sleep, but a lot of times during investigations, I don't want to say this because y'all don't laugh at me because it's true, but sometimes more than usual, I can't keep track of my stuff, and I swear that it's being moved around on
yeah.
me. Like, where's that bag? You're like,
Yeah, and there's like a
Keep track
whole
of my
study.
stuff.
There's like a whole study on it. I think it's called DOP, disappearance of. What's the P? I forgot already. Property, disappearance of property. I think it is. And you can look it up online. There's like people that have studied it as if and in some cases it might be psychological. And some people say, well, it's poltergeist. People like to throw that poltergeist card out there right away. I don't know. I don't believe in poltergeist stuff. There's so many other opportunities for spirits, deceased souls, to do things. But
We had spirits digging in our gear
Yep.
at the fair.
back to the
One of the
Thayer.
great things at the fair.
Yeah, because you were sitting almost right by it. I'm just across the way a little bit in a chair, and our two bags of our equipment are sitting there on the floor, and it sounded like there was a rat inside of the bag.
It's rustling around in there.
And we found out later that that's quite common, that they will get into the bags of different things that people come there with.
Like
Obviously, we
purses.
went into your bag.
Yeah, they're like purses.
Yeah, but they're going to purses or
Hey,
other
Russ.
bags.
Why don't you mention the headaches of Thayer?
Okay, well, we could. We weren't really going there, but we could mention it. Well,
Experiences.
it is experience. I don't know if it's molecular disappearance experience. It could be, because anyway. So we're there, we're eating dinner at the Thayer, and all right, Mark, here we go.
oh, play it out.
Here we are. Oh wait.
I've got a great salmon coming. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
No, you had steak that night,
I
doll.
had steak.
Pepper. Oh man.
So Mark is sitting there, I'm sitting here, Melissa's sitting here. Not now, but she would be. And here's the table. And there's a wall here with windows in it. And we're eating our nice dinner. Beautiful dinner. We just had a wonderful dinner. And
Can't
Mark,
say enough about
Mark
it.
says, hey, what do you say? I gotta,
I think I excused myself.
yeah, you excuse, I gotta run to the
I
room.
was getting a headache.
But he didn't tell us he was
I
getting a
didn't
headache.
say, but I ran upstairs, and in the meanwhile, You and Melissa were having a conversation.
Yeah. So I look over at Melissa, and I'm like scratching my right eye a little bit. I'm like, my temple is just burning. I said, I think something is looking at me from off through this window here. And Melissa says, I've got it on both sides. The same kind of weird temple headache type of feeling. I said, whip out your phone, and I said, take some selfies. Because I didn't want it to make it look like we were taking pictures of people, right? So, and she starts taking a bunch of pictures. And through the window behind us, sitting on the table behind us, we see the apparition of a woman sitting in a chair, facing our direction. And then Mark comes back down, and we're like, dude, what the heck? And we start telling the story. He says, well, that's why I went upstairs. Because on his side, he had a headache on that side. So the energy was coming from this way, and we felt it accordingly how it was coming at us. And so that was
a selfie.
No, that was a horrible selfie.
It's all right. You got the goats.
I did, and that was awesome.
So you can see the shoulders and the torso and everything, and it was pretty cool. But is there any other questions anybody want to talk about?
I haven't gotten any questions on here.
Okay.
Oh, you got slackers.
Out of the 7,500 people that are watching right now?
8.
Nothing?
8.
Anyway, 8's good. That's better than I thought.
Was that Amanda?
This is for my friend.
My mom.
This is everybody else.
Brandon's on.
Probably Bob.
Cousin Fred.
My friend Hannah is on.
Nice. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be. Whoa! What do you got here?
I was wondering about that. Oh, yeah, is that from the?
Yeah, we went and collected.
Are they still glowing at all or no?
No glow.
But what we did find is over half of them were missing.
Yeah.
It might be the string hanging there, or
Weird.
everything's gone.
It was a Friday though. I would suppose teenagers should hang out there a lot.
Yeah, but who takes?
Dead glow beads.
Doesn't make any sense.
Whatever they are.
Probably shouldn't have it.
But it was interesting. It was a great case last night. We had a great time. And I think everybody, just the fact that you go out into a location like that, how many people get that opportunity to go out and not only go out there, period, but to go out there in the dark at night in kind of a spooky
Did you guys
mode.
have fun?
Well, I was excited because Amanda and Pat, you guys always talk about, you live down here, you talked about it. And Kristen and part of the group went out there once before and took pictures, and I had never seen it and wanted to see it sometime. But I thought we were going to a farm.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I was like,
Farm.
"Where's the barn? Where's the barn?" I turned that.
So anyway, and tonight we're going to be here. And,
Who knows?
I don't know. Will we go live? I don't know.
We could.
We could.
We'll see.
I think you should.
It's a possibility. But what are we doing for time? 'Cause I didn't bring
4 o'clock.
4?
It's 4 right now.
Oh, we got all kinds of time. We got till 5. This place don't close till 5. You guys got any questions at all? Just anything you want, a topic or anything?
So out of the fair, I'm looking at doing that one.
Okay.
Coming out before the snow flies. Anyways, I wanna know which room is it that it's supposed to be, there's like 2 rooms that are particular rooms that are like 302 or?
Yeah, there's a couple locations. So
305 would be one.
is that the one you stayed in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So upstairs
And
305,
I didn't sleep well. Let's just say that.
and then downstairs or second floor 207.
The honeymoon suite.
And right across the way. The honeymoon suite is calm now. Calmer.
Yeah.
But on the far end of the second floor,
Yeah, I think it's 207 and
207 and-
How many rooms are in that building?
9
right now. There used to be 22. But I'm not going to give you the whole spiel because I have the whole tour right there in my head. But I don't want to give you the whole tour. Then you wouldn't come to the
We
tour.
can give you the virtual
I do
tour.
by myself. I've always by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place. Yeah, so there are rooms that are absolutely quiet. Like this one has this giant mirror. Everybody walks in and hopes something will crawl out of it or whatever. That's the quietest room, or one of them.
Yeah. I think it's 03 across.
Yeah, don't choose that one. That one's you sleep too well.
But anyway, yeah, well, I will just tell you a quick story about 305, and that's the room that I stayed in the very first time I was there. And we were doing a live just like this, and a medium comes online, and we're talking about, and I'm just showing the room like, hey, here's where I'm going to sleep tonight. And the medium says, on the wave there, on the Facebook thing, she says, there's a woman underneath your bed with an ashen face who is frightened and or something.
Or frightening.
Frightening, one of the frights. But anyway, so she's like under the bed. How do you go to bed after hearing that? You know, so I lay in bed. I'm like,
We should have rock, paper, scissors that room, you know? But he got the room.
oh, it's just ridiculous. You know, I'm like, what was that noise? Probably a mouse.
A little scratching under the bed.
It was ridiculous. And then Melissa walks by. I hardly slept a wink, so I couldn't sleep. And Melissa was walking down the hall about 6:30. I don't know what she's doing. And,
I was investigating.
I'm half awake, half asleep. And I hear her, but in my confused mind, I jumped almost completely out of that bed.
Scared the living crap out of me.
I was so sensitive to the fact that I was just waiting for that arm to come up. But it never did.
Oh, what was the room that he jumped out of?
That was 305 as well, I think.
5, I think, yeah.
So yeah, 305 has a little extra.
You had the window blind move in your room the first
There's quite a bit
time.
of stuff in that room.
Yeah.
So, but hey, if that sounds interesting to you, come to the tour at the Thayer. And like I say, I even broke down and bought some fake candles.
Oh,
And
did
yeah, they're on the way. They should be there by the time I get home.
What are the dates on those tours?
18th is this week coming up.
Yep.
And then it's the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like 25, 26, 27, I think it is, without seeing the calendar in front of me.
It is.
And so that's 4 nights of decoration, Halloween.
And I think they're even in
Costumes. Yeah, I think they're going to be in costumes. Me and Mark will be in this costume. It'll be kind of frightening.
What are the times?
6 and 8. 6 and 8 each night.
I'm selling you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Selling it up. 6 and 8.
That's right, 6 and 8.
And what's the
And,
price to get in?
Well, keep it rolling.
Well, it's $25 or $15 if you get the meal. If you buy a meal, you get $10 off. And so that's kind of neat.
Get the meal, we'll pitch it again.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you can't go wrong with the meal. I mean,
Mm-mm.
can't go wrong. So, yeah, so we had a lot of things going on. One of the other topics we were going to talk about a little bit was healing, the healing process. And we could just kind of breeze through that a little bit. It's a topic that's extremely long that we would have probably spent an entire 2 hours talking about a little bit. But healing is the part where we go to a home and we have to investigate. And that's why we call it paranormal investigating, because we don't really know what is going on. We don't know what type of environment we're stepping into. Is it a darker one? Is it just a place where the old homeowner's still there for some reason? Or, you know, this.
So we get a little bit at first, because we do
Yeah.
a pre-interview, a phone interview. And so we get some facts.
Yeah.
That helps us to talk it through a little bit. And then when we get on the ground, that's right, we interview them, get a tour.
Because it is amazing how many times that we are walking through a place and sitting there talking with the client, and by the time we're done talking with them, they will have explained to us, without even knowing it, what they think, what is actually going on, and sometimes a way to fix it. Because we have this process, and we call talking to the spirit. And so if I talk to you long enough about a topic such as that, or something of concern, eventually your spirit takes over your physical conversation. Your spirit starts talking from you, and the spirit will tell me what is the matter and what is the likely solution for fixing it, if I just keep talking to you. And we've had that happen so many times.
It's amazing, yeah.
And we tell them that. So when we walk in the house, we're like, okay, I know this is your house, and I know you walk through these halls every darn day. But I want you right now to switch gears and start thinking about the one or two things in your house that you've maybe had a second thought, an uncomfortable thought about, something that was weird about it, or you've always wondered about. And the next thing you know, and we have them bring the things out and put them on the kitchen table. And the next thing you know, sometimes it might be one item, sometimes they got like 7 items laying and on the table, and we're like, okay, so now we have something to work with, some physical things which may have some type of an attachment of some sort.
And then when they don't tell us,
Yep.
we end up going there multiple times.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
sometimes, we had a case where a lady had a plastic tub underneath her bed that had.
That was
I'll
totally
pick that up
honest.
before we're done.
But she had a box underneath her bed that had remnants of somebody that had died. And she had not thought nothing about it at all. It didn't, it had been underneath the bed for a
Well,
long time.
it was resistant too. I mean, like, we weren't quite getting the edge on it.
Yeah, we couldn't quite figure out why she was having troubles. And a lot of times those cases that are in the bedroom where they have stuff on the bed, or they're having that breathing issue and that stuff,
Yeah.
as a lot of those cases, we run into something specific in that house that is causing that type of haunting, that we call kind of the bedroom haunting, or what a lot of people might refer to as that ailment of, what do they call the night terrors, or whatever you want to call them.
Sleep paralysis.
But in a lot of cases, we can get to the bottom, and maybe some of those are psychological. Potentially they are, obviously. But in the cases that we went to, we've been like, oh, we've been able to find something that kind of was causing it, and by going through it, finding it, and then giving them some resolution by giving them ways to keep the light energy of the Lord God, so to speak, in their house, and all of a sudden they can get past that, and it never happens again. And we've had success with that numerous times now.
Time after time.
Time after time. That's like a song. Who sang it? Time after time.
Cindy Lauper.
That's right, you're the
DJ.
DJ. Nice. That would be it. So, well, does anybody have any final questions? Because we're getting close to the end of the event here. And
At my house, you guys found spirits that we didn't even know were there. The one we didn't get was my father and mom, and we know that actually died in the house.
But yeah, you were having trays, different things flying around the kitchen.
Yeah, sure,
And
yeah.
and different things like that, and things moving around in your kitchen.
As long as I don't remove those pictures from a nota.
Yeah.
If you won't have it again.
So, but yeah, we got to the bottom of that case, and I'm clearing the house, and it's been quiet as ever. You said there.
Yeah, it has been quiet.
Yeah.
It's almost too quiet.
Too quiet now. Well, we had one lady down in Hunt say, she's like, "Oh, is this what it's really like
To be normal.
to be normal?"
To live alone.
She says, and she was living alone, and she's, I kind of miss.
She kind of felt sad, actually. Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do now. I come home from work, I don't have to close any doors or
Oh,
drawers.
man, she was.
I don't,
They were bad there.
yeah, and it went on for years, and she just lived with it.
Well, she'd lock herself in her bedroom.
And yeah, different things like that. And,
Well, Russ, we had the one case where the lady didn't even realize up in work.
yeah,
Oh, that was great.
yeah,
She didn't even realize that she had so much pressure on her chest.
yeah,
Did the clearing and we were...
absolutely. I mean, we finished the crossover and the cleansing and stuff, and we came downstairs, and the lady of the house who said she'd never, well, I never really experienced anything other than something flew across the kitchen one day, but other than that, she had never experienced anything. But other people who visited her had experiences, and so we're like, well, let's check this out. And slowly pieces and parts kept coming out through the investigation, and we went ahead and did a cleanse of the house, And we walked downstairs and she was standing up in her chair. She hadn't really got up much of
Never
the time.
gotten up the whole time.
Almost the entire time, she just sat in that chair. And when we came down to the cleansing, she was like half and she's like, I didn't know. I did not know how heavy the pressure was on my chest until you removed those spirits.
And you said people said she
Started smiling more.
She is, I know her personally, she is a lot happier now.
Yeah. So, and people just don't realize, a lot of people they're like, oh, well, I know they're there, and I'm good with them, and some maybe people can find, but the bottom line is, living energy and deceased energy don't coexist well together. And so, no matter what, even if you feel like you're not experiencing a lot, there's probably some type of energy change in your life.
Well, yeah, like fatigue.
You know,
I mean, like you make you sick.
Fatigue, missing things, this, that.
Fighting with your loved ones.
Yeah, I mean, the more drastic ones are the couples who call us and say every time we're at our new house we fight all the time.
Yeah.
That's a drastic thing that we can really pinpoint. But some of them, the cases are a lot milder, and you're like, okay, so we really have to, and that's why we investigate.
Right.
Try to get to the bottom of things, because sometimes they're mild cases that you don't realize. But I guarantee you, if there's a spirit in your house, it's affecting you in one way or the other. No doubt about it in my mind. It's going to have some type of effect, even if you feel it's a relative or you're getting along with it or whatever. It's still going to have some kind of effect on you. And I think the spirit in here is the sleep spirit. I think we're all fine.
I'll say it's weird and I don't have to look behind my back anymore. I'm not seeing shadow figures.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing people mimic our voice.
that's huge. I mean, who wants to live with that, That is just chaos. But anyway, we're close.
We are.
And if nobody else has any questions,
Let's.
this is the ParaConnection in Faribault, Minnesota. We have an investigation tonight we have to get ready for, and an expo we have to clean up before the event starts.
Right.
So we appreciate everybody coming to the event today, and the audience here, and everybody else that's online for listening, checking us out. If you like this kind of stuff, starting about the third week in November, Mark and I will get back onto our radio show, our Facebook Live. We could call it a radio show if we want to.
Good.
And
Video show.
video show.
Radio show.
All right, we'll call it all kinds of things. But anyway, we'll be there, and we'll be talking and chatting.
So what's going to be your first topic on your video show?
What is our first topic going to
Yeah.
be? What do you want it to be?
Anything, you guys? What do you?
Well, actually, we're going to talk about just everything that's been going on.
Yeah, we're gonna do. I think the first show will just kind of be an overview of, because all the stuff that went on in October here, we're gonna have just a brief overview of this October itself, because it was just so full stuff.
We can pull up some EVPs for.
Yeah, EVPs. Oh, I brought EVPs. I need a nap. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you later.
Yeah, good night, thanks.